I am. Sanel Thurkill.
Rhonda Craig, I'll be moderating. And how do you pronounce your last name again?
Thurkill.
Thurkill.
Yes.
Okay. I'll have to do it phonetically.
Give them hair.
I think I'm going to be a little because I was a little bit, but no,
Don't. Well, that's what they say. But I don't know. No. You know, firm but fair. That's what it's supposed to be. Not the maker or holder of time, right? Hey, well, God is good. Worst thing in the world to get a call.
Oh, there's Randy.
Yeah. Got a full 8 hours today.
I think right now, because we're going Demar, I don't know where he is. I'll have to call him. They done threw me up here. You need to check anything?
No, everything's good. Just make sure you guys just talk directly into that. It'll be live stream.
Okay.
Do we need to
Do I touch any of this?
What about this? I don't know if permit is might be.
Gentlemen,
Yes.
Yes.
good evening.
Good evening.
Almost evening, right?
Yes.
I didn't even know that was Casey.
So, just a few reminders. Moderator's going to be here, okay? Delia's going to do the opening, and then Rhonda Craig is going to be doing the moderating, and she's here. Your audience is here, and your video audience is. For opening statements and 1 minute for each question and 1 minute for closing. At 45 seconds, you will see this. I'll kind of like try and catch your eye. And I'm going to sit right there, so it shouldn't be too
At
difficult.
45 seconds or 15?
When you have 15 seconds left.
Oh, okay.
When you have 15 seconds left, you get this.
Okay.
At 45 seconds in.
Okay.
And then when you hit your 1 minute mark, this will come up. What you want to do is wrap it up as quick as possible without just like cutting it off. The good news is we live stream this, and the last couple of weeks we've been live streaming the other council positions. We've had hundreds of people on.
Oh, yeah.
The one night I did was 1,000 people on.
Yeah.
So you're reaching a great audience. So this is a fabulous opportunity to talk to your people who are going to be voting.
Sure.
Because if they're paying attention, they're probably going to pay attention.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Absolutely.
do you have any questions for me? No?
Thank you.
You need me? Oh, okay.
Dean?
Good evening. Good evening, everybody. If you all can take your seats. Welcome to the Forum for Pontiac City Council at Large Position and Mayoral Elections. My name is Delia Sharp, and I am here with Oakland Forward. Today is October 15th, 2025. This forum features candidates who qualify for the general election for the Pontiac City Council at Large position and Pontiac Mayor. Vote for no more than one for the 4-year term. The sponsors for this forum are the League of Women Voters, Oakland area, Change Up Midnight Coalition, Jews for Secular Democracy, Michigan League of Conservation Voters Education Fund, Michigan Roundtable for Just Communities, Oakland Forward, Voters Not Politicians, Voting Access for All Coalition, and When You Vote, I Win. We have provided copies of a short survey about tonight's forum. Please take a minute to fill out the survey before you leave this evening so that we can improve your experience. Tonight, we will hear from the candidates for the at-large council position, Adrian Austin and Sanel Threkel. Following the council forum, we will hear from the two candidates for mayor, that's Mike McGinnis and Kermit Williams. Just to give you a little bit of information about the at-large position, The city of Pontiac recently withdrew its council districts. Previously, the city had 7 districts, each with its own representative. Now there are 6 districts and 1 new at-large seat. An at-large position means the elected council member represents the entire city, rather than one specific neighborhood or area. Every eligible voter in Pontiac can vote for this representative who serves the community as a whole, across each district, neighborhood, and demographic. District representatives focus on local issues within its assigned area, addressing the immediate needs of their residents, such as road repair, lighting, and community safety. The at-large representative, however, takes on a broader role. This position ensures that decisions made by the council benefits the entire city, looking at the big picture and maintaining balance across all communities. The addition of this position gives Pontiac a stronger, more unified voice at the decision-making table. The at-large member promotes citywide collaboration, helps bridge gaps between districts, and encourage fair representation for all residents. This seat allows for more holistic perspective, ensuring that while district priorities are met, the overall progress and growth of Pontiac remains at the forefront. With this change, residents of Pontiac now have 2 forms of representation: one district representative who focus on their immediate area, and one at-large representative who looks after the collective well-being of the city. This gives voters more opportunity for engagement and accountability, and allows for new leadership, energy, and ideas to emerge in shaping this city's future. The decisions made by both district and at-large members impact daily life in Pontiac, including community safety, neighborhood improvements, park maintenance, business development, and youth opportunities. The at-large position ensures that these decisions are made with the entire community in mind, fostering equity and inclusion across all areas. Ultimately, the at-large position represents connection, collaboration, and fairness. It reflects Pontiac's commitment to working as one community, many neighborhoods, but one unified city. This is a nonpartisan. The nonpartisan sponsors for this event do not endorse any candidates or political parties. Views expressed in this forum are those of the candidates only, and we, the sponsors, take no responsibility. If you're interested in learning more about the work of the representing organization, or how you can get involved in strengthening our democracy, I encourage you to visit the resource table before you leave tonight. Before we begin, a few important notes for the audience and candidates. Please silence all cell phones, refrain from personal recording or photography during the forum. This event is copywritten by the League of Women Voters 2025. A recording of this forum will be available on the presenting organization websites within a week. For clarity of sound recording, we ask that the candidates remain seated. We ask that the audience hold all applause until the end of the forum, and please return the survey before leaving. The format of this forum has been established by the League of Women Voters. Candidates will answer questions with their views only and not interrupt another candidate. Questions are asked to all candidates and do not single out any one candidate. All questions are submitted by the audience and screened for duplication and appropriateness by Brandy Mitchell from Voting Access of All Coalition, Colleen Murphy from the League of Women Voters, Oakland area. Oh, we had a change. Mike Allen from the League of Women Voters. Questions submitted may be combined with other questions on the same topic or reworded for clarity. Questions must be able to be asked of all candidates and not address only one candidate. Our pages are circulating in the audience with paper and pencils for you to write down your questions. If you need a card or have written a question, please raise your hand and the pages will come to collect them. And our pages are, I think they've changed too, right? Those that have their hands lifted. Our timer is Christine Allen from the League of Women Voters. The moderator for the question portion of this evening is Rhonda Craig of the League of Women Voters, and I am welcoming Rhonda up to the mic, and we'll get started with tonight's forum.
Thank you, Delia. The format for our forum is as follows. All candidates are given 1 minute for opening statements in alphabetical order. Candidates have 1 minute to answer each question in rotation. All candidates will be allowed equal time to answer questions. Closing statements will be 1 minute in reverse order. Please watch for the timer's stop sign to know when your 1 minute is up. As we begin the forum, I'd like to remind our audience and candidates to turn off your cell phones. We will begin with the opening statements from our candidates. Mr. Austin, you have 1 minute.
Good evening, great citizens of Pontiac. Normally, I would stand to honor you all, but I'm going to follow the rules. But I do want to say this. Thank you all for coming out tonight. Thank you to the organizations that put this forum on, because it is very vital and needed. And what I also want to tell you is just a little bit about myself. I'm married, have a beautiful wife. Her name is Melanie. I have 2 beautiful daughters, Shania and Alora. We've purchased a home in Fieldstone Village, and we are faithful members of Door of Faith Ministries, Pastor Earl O. Crump. A little bit about my leadership skills. I am a twice elected UAW chairperson. I serve working class citizens for a living. I am also a UAW bargaining representative. I'm happy to say that in our 2023 contract with Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, we added $80 million and got close to 2,000 members off of strike. I am also a UAW VCAP chairman. That's Citizenship and Legislation.
Thank you,
and I am
Mr.
a
Austin.
delegate.
Thank you, Mr.
Sorry about
Austin.
that. Thank you.
Mr. Thurkel.
Good evening, Pontiac. My name is Sanel Thurkel, born and raised right here in the great city of Pontiac. Many of you know me as Sergeant Thurkel. For the past 26 years, past 26 years, I have faithfully served you, protecting and serving the city of Pontiac. I, just like many of you, have walked these streets, and I have seen what has happened in our communities. I have seen what has happened to our seniors. I am just not one of those people who can just let those things happen and not do anything. And so what I have with my work with community policing, I have made sure that we've had the opportunity to engage with our youth, engage with our seniors. I am fighting for Pontiac, and I'm asking you to help me fight from the seat of City Council.
Thank you. And now we come to the question and answer segment of our forums. Answers have a 1 minute time limit, and we'll begin with Mr. Thurkel. The first question is, please speak to the work you're already doing to improve the city of Pontiac.
Absolutely, great question. So for the past 26 years, I've been in law enforcement. Currently, I am the Sergeant of Pontiac Community Policing. What I have done, and I say I, but I mean we as a team, because nobody does it by themselves. We've created Pontiac, Plant the Seed Pontiac, which is for our youth. We engage our seniors with what we do, safety presentations for our seniors, because we want our seniors to be safe. We do Shop with the Cop. We do Adopt a Family. I have, with partnerships, through with partnerships, been able to bring in over $300,000 worth of resources that have been able to be used for those individuals in fires, those individuals that are homeless. These are things that I am very proud to say that I've been able to do here in the city of Pontiac, is bring these resources here through community policing.
Thank you. Mr. Austin.
That is a great question. So I am a young man, 41 years old, so I have two answers for that. The first answer is being a precinct delegate. I was elected in District 5, and I'm happy to say that being a conduit for my community in the voter space, educating the young adults, educating our seniors on the platforms of voting, the candidates, where to vote, how to vote. That was one of the most vital things that I would say that I've done thus far. The second thing that I would say is being an example to the youth of someone who graduated from Pontiac Northern class of 2003 was, I wouldn't say I did everything the right way, but I am an example of you can start off slow but finish fast. I'm happy to say that I've kept my nose clean and I'm able to stand in front of you with integrity and ask for this office and ask for your vote to be the city council at large.
Thank you. This next question will first go to Mr. Austin, and that question is, do you have all of your campaign reports done and filed with the Oakland County?
That is an absolutely great question. And yes, ma'am, I have all of my campaign information filed with Oakland County. I do believe we have another round of filing that is set to be done between October 18th and October 25th. So I'm happy to say that I'm fully current and compliant with all of the filing.
Thank you. Mr. Thurkel?
Well, I would have to say also, yes, I am in compliance. That's very important. Transparency is very important. And so, yes, I am current to date, yes.
Thank you. This next question will first go to Mr. Thurkel. If you had to choose between the bridge or the rec center, which would you select and why?
Well, that's a very, very great question. And let me tell you some of the challenges that we have. With the bridge not being done, one of the things that I know by being in the Public Safety Committee is that some of our emergency vehicles have to take alternative routes in order to get to hospitals. We know that if someone is injured, sometimes it only takes a couple seconds. So that is an issue. But I also know, because I grew up in the area where we had Boys and Girls Club, and we had community centers. And so our youth need that. So if I had to choose, I am choosing our youth. I am choosing our youth, and I am choosing our rec center.
Thank you. Mr. Austin.
That is an absolutely great question. And to answer it directly, I would choose the bridge. The bridge being an emergency route to a hospital. A lot of our seniors that need to get there, I would absolutely choose the bridge. One reason, again, why is because, and I mean this in all sincerity, we do have schools. We have other options for our youth to be involved, engaged with our community, and have a safe place to congregate. So I would absolutely choose the bridge. Whoever asked that question, that was great.
Okay. The next question will first go to Mr. Austin. How important is community policing to you? How will you make it stronger?
That is a great question. Community policing is very vital in our community. After doing some research, I saw that Pontiac has a grade of D as it relates to crime. So one thing that I really want to strengthen in our communities is our neighborhood watches, community policing throughout every district, 1 through 6. I also want to look at starting a community continuity committee, partner with law enforcement so that these overarching issues as far as crime and safety and community policing, we have partnerships that we're fostering with law enforcement, and that way we can disseminate more effective community policing throughout the city.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Thurkel?
Okay, well, great question. Being the sergeant of community policing, I understand extremely how important it is. Community policing doesn't deal with just the enforcement. It doesn't deal with the enforcement. It's the being proactive, engaging with our youth, engaging with our seniors. And so when I think about community policing, also you have to think about when we're talking about crimes and our youth being out, community policing engages, and we put together programs to keep our youth off the street, to keep our seniors engaged. So we have to, I want more community police officers, because our youth need to see officers more than just someone who arrests them. They need to see somebody high-fiving, playing basketball, breaking in 15 seconds, building that bridge between our young folks. It is very vital that we do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question will first go to Mr. Thurkel, and that question is, we have a huge problem with homelessness, and some are mentally challenged. What solutions will be in place to help advocate for them?
So homelessness is a very serious problem in which I have been on the forefront trying to help find homes and houses for those. We have reached out to a lot of our community partners, churches, nonprofits, trying to find homes for people. What I have found, and this is a great thing about community policing, a lot of times when people, they see folks and they consider them homeless, we're the ones that get called out there. What we found out is that sometimes it's a matter of homeless individuals having mental health issues and needing just a little bit of resource. I have been in a situation where there have been homeless individuals that all they needed was a phone call to a family member to bring them home. And we've been able to do that. And so homelessness is a very, very big problem, but we're trying to solve it.
Thank you. Mr. Austin.
Yes, that's a great question. Homelessness is a very serious issue here in the city of Pontiac, and I don't want to reinvent the wheel. We have a lot of community advocates who are already dealing in the homeless space. Delania Stevens is one person. So what I want to do from a governing position is streamline a lot of the organizations that we already have and the community people that we already have doing this work. And from a governing body standpoint, provide them with resources, provide them with support, but most importantly, provide them with funding. I am out there in the community, and what I find in regards to homelessness is this. We have a lot of people that transition from other cities into Pontiac, transition homes, shelters, or what have you. And so once their stay is done there, now they're out on the street in Pontiac, or they're taking up space in these shelters that prevent Pontiac people from getting into the shelters. So we have to streamline how effective our shelters and how effective our organizations and community advocates work in this space.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
The next question will first go to Mr. Austin. And that question is, what are the plans to complete unfinished projects? And when will more youth programs be considered and started? So that's a two-part question.
Okay, can you mind repeating the first part?
What are the plans to complete the unfinished projects, and when will more youth programs be considered and started?
So to answer the first question of when will projects get completed, if you all see fit to elect me day one in office, we will first get on the bridge if it has not already started demolition, which I believe it will, and then other projects as they come up, or overarching projects that we already have on the docket. What I think the best thing to do is first starting an at-large committee, which will bring the citizens together so that you're able to hear front-facing information from your at-large candidate, where then I can say, hey, we have the community center, we have the bridge, we have sidewalks, we have mini parks that are going to be going. And that's because not everybody can get to the council meeting, not everybody has Facebook. So I want to be able to disseminate information directly from myself so that you know these projects are getting started and finished.
Thank you. Mr. Thurkel.
Can you just repeat that question for me, please?
Sure. What are the plans to complete unfinished projects, And when will more youth programs be considered and started?
Okay. So when will these be started? Obviously, if elected, they will be started immediately. We definitely have to start tackling those issues, those projects. People need to see where their money is going, so we need to do that. But now, as it comes to projects, what's happening right now, and I'm proud to say this, what's happening right now is that I've had conversations with engineering programs that are actually going to come into Pontiac, starting with our youth at 6th grade, starting engineering academies for our 6th graders. Also, what we also have is that we have professionals, and I want to say experts, in the field of AI with Microsoft that are going to actually also be coming into the city of Pontiac, teaching our youth responsible AI. So these are two programs that are actually en route that are coming.
Thank you. Okay, the next question will first go to Mr. Thurkel, and that question is, what will you do about the mismanagement of government funds for small businesses?
Well, I think when it comes to mismanagement, we have to be transparent about the money. We have to be transparent. And we have to call things out when they're not right. So as far as the mismanagement goes, well, sometimes that comes with leadership. When you have the wrong leadership, that's when things get mismanaged. So we have to call it out, and then we have to support our small businesses. We have to. So what the money that is owed to them, we need to make sure that they have the funding to do what they need to do here in the city of Pontiac. Because when we support our small businesses, that's when Pontiac grows. Pontiac grows because of our small businesses. And so we have to make sure that we take care of that.
Thank you. Mr. Austin.
Well, thank you for the question. The first thing I think that we need to do in regards to mismanagement is a audit, forensic audit of such, or just a direct audit. That is the only way to truly capture where money is being misspent. The second thing from there is, once you all see fit to elect me, instituting the integrity officer. So that way, now that when we see misspending, and we do have an ethics council that needs to be developed as well, he or she who has mismanaged, one will now stand in front of the ethics committee and the integrity officer in that such. So that is just the direct way to deal with the misspending or mismanagement as it relates to our city funds.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely.
The next question will first go to Mr. Austin, and that question is, how do you propose balancing serving the communities and the businesses in Pontiac?
Well, that's a great question again. And the first thing that I see in doing in regards to balancing the community and the business is, one, holding our businesses to being great community partners. Council is doing a great job right now with creating community benefit agreements. So making sure that when these businesses come into Pontiac, number one, they have employment on their mind, getting our people employed, getting our people first bite at the apple of getting these jobs. Second thing that I would say in regards to holding business to the community is offering some sort of discount, offering more things that bridge the community and the business together. We could create a 248 day or something like that, where businesses offer discounts on this special day to kids who are doing great in attendance or who've made the honor roll. So there's a lot of ways that businesses and communities could be great partners, but first getting a strong community benefit agreement.
Thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Thurkel.
Okay. Well, I will say that when it comes to community as well as our businesses, we have to do a better job of holding our businesses accountable. We have to also be able to support some of our local businesses. So when we're talking about being accountable, a lot of businesses, they will come into Pontiac and they'll take Pontiac dollars, and none of those dollars stay here. So we have to do a better job of making sure that those businesses that come in, they're for the community. Any business that is for the community, I'm for, but they have to be for the community. And so sometimes we have these businesses, they will come in and they'll do what they do and they'll take the money, but then it's other communities that benefit from it, and our citizens are left to suffer. We need to do more work with businesses that support our community, that hire our people.
Thank you. This next question will first go to Mr. Thurkell, and that question is, the area on Baldwin and Montcalm is a haven for drugs and people walking the streets. What are your plans to clean up that area?
Well, those plans are already underway. So part of our community policing team, along with our nuisance unit, patrol that area daily, making sure, first and foremost, looking at the bus stops. People use the bus stops for transportation. And so what we have been doing is going there, making sure that people who are there to use the buses are able to do that. When it comes to the drugs, some of those things are in the community, and then we have people that actually call and will let us know where those houses are. And so then we will contact some of our vice units, our narcotics units. Those are things that are going on right now to clean that area up, starting with community policing and our new nuisance unit.
Thank you. Mr. Austin.
That is a great question. So I spoke earlier about a community continuity committee that partners with law enforcement. That way, whomever asks that question, law enforcement can be transparent with, hey, we're in that area, we're cleaning it up, we're doing XYZ. Here's a number that you can call in regards to community policing or some other advocacy line that can reach you immediately if you're seeing more drug use in this area or more troublemaking going on in that area. So that's just one of the other things that we can do as a governing body to make sure that overall arching issues in the community are being addressed. Because in Pontiac, we are going to deal with prioritized issues like that particular area. So making sure that law enforcement, who is tasked with servicing that space, is being transparent and direct with the community about how it's being done.
Thank you. This next question will first go to Mr. Austin. And that question is, what qualifies you for this position?
That is a great question. Well, the first, as I was introducing myself, I was giving some of my resume. At the end of 2027, I will have been a UAW representative for 8 years. Being a chairperson and serving working class citizens like yourself makes me more than qualified. Also, have been a bargaining rep, and like I spoke, adding $80 million of new money into a very healthy contract makes me more than qualified to handle business deals and negotiations here in the city of Pontiac. And I'm also happy to say that I am elected precinct delegate in District 5. So I've been involved in the political space, I am involved in the corporate sector, and more importantly, I'm bred here. I'm born and bred in the city of Pontiac. I know the streets, I know my community, I know you all. I love you a lot, but that makes me qualified to be a city council at large.
Thank you. Mr. Thurkell?
Wonderful question. So what I would say to that is, when I think about the at-large position, first and foremost, you should have a citywide perspective. Me being in law enforcement for over 26 years, I've been in every part of this community. And so one of the things that you have to know is that although we are one city, every district has a different challenge. Every district has a different challenge. And it's important that you know that, because District 1 is dealing with something different than District 4. You have to know that. Also, you have to be willing and able to bring people together, communities together, organizations together. I have proven that I'm able to do that with community policing, with some of the events and organizations that I've actually been able to partner with. So this at-large position, you have to be able to bring people together, and you have to know the difference of each district.
Thank you, Mr. Thurkell. Okay, this next question will first go to Mr. Thurkel. And that question is, what will you do regarding city-based contracting?
So, city-based contracting. What I've heard time and time again is that our residents get left out of these contracts. Our residents need to be first in line. We need to be first. Now, we definitely have to be qualified, but we need to be first in line. We need to start talking and taking care of Pontiac. It is one of those things whereas if we hear that there's a contract and it's a $20 million contract, but nobody from Pontiac benefits from it, was it even worth it? So we have to make sure that when we have these contracts, that our people are being considered first. We have to be first in line for these contracts so that our city can see the benefits. Our families, our communities can see the benefits of it.
Thank you. Mr. Austin.
That is an absolutely great question. And what I would suggest is a local preference agreement. What that says is essentially our community gets first bite at the apple when major projects or smaller projects come into Pontiac. Granted, they do need to be qualified. Granted, they do need to have the motto to suffice doing XYZ job. But having a local preference agreement established in concert with a strong community benefit agreement allows not only for the community to flourish when business and projects are established, but also demolition, construction workers, builders, what have you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
The next question will first go to Mr. Austin. How are you planning to take advantage of the city's new bond rating?
Take advantage of it. Well, I don't think that's the correct way is take advantage of it. I think when you have good credit, you want to be delicate with it. So the bond rating is going to actually take care of itself. With the rating as high as that, investors are here to Pontiac. They're going to start looking at Pontiac. So like I was just speaking on, what we need to do to make sure that our community has guardrails and are safe when all of these big investors start coming in is making sure, one, that we have a community benefit agreement that allows for our community to flourish with whatever business or investor is coming in, and then a local preference agreement that makes sure that our community who are able to do these jobs or bring XYZ business in, that they have it as well. Housing is a need. Infrastructure is a need. So when we look at bonds, now we have the ability to really tackle some overall arching issues that we have in the city, and infrastructure being a big one.
Thank you. Mr. Thurkel?
So absolutely. I think that is something that is phenomenal for us to finally get to this point. Good credit, as we know, goes a long way. So I think having good credit allows the city to do a lot of different things, to reinvest in our roads, reinvest in, I know we have some things that we have high interest on. We can, get those interests down. I believe that having this rating allows the city to be in a position to do more for its community, for its citizens. That's it.
Thank you. This next question will first go to you, Mr. Thurkel. And that question is, how do you plan to address the rise of violence in the community, specifically violence towards women?
Well, when we talk about violence towards women, this being October, being a month where we are actually supporting those that have been victims of domestic violence, education comes with that. We have to, I was into a couple different organizations where it's funding. Some of these organizations that are supporting the violence against women, they need funding. They need funding. We have to do better education, and we have to do more to make sure that those that are victims and there are support systems out there for them, because they are lacking the funding for the support for those that are suffering from that violence.
Thank you. Mr. Austin?
No, and that is an absolutely great question. And that is a very serious topic. And to the women in the room, I empathize with you all if anyone has ever went through domestic violence. But like the last topic, I don't want to reinvent the wheel. We have community advocates. We have organizations here in Pontiac that are doing the work. Delania Stevens, who I mentioned, Nikita Porter, they're all Pontiac residents. They're all doing the work. These organizations, I understand that it is a big plight to tackle, but these organizations need our support from a governing standpoint. They need the funding, they need the resources. So we have to be there from a governing standpoint to make sure that in the domestic violence space, everyone is feeling supported. I attended the District 7 meeting the other day, and I believe it was 67 domestic violence cases last month. So it's a really serious issue, and being a part of that continuity committee that the citizens can be a part of, that partners with law enforcement, now we can all work together on tackling that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The next question will go to Mr. Austin, and that question will be, what steps will you take to reduce illegal dumping and improve bulk waste pickup reliability?
That is actually a great question. I didn't catch the last part of that.
I'll repeat the whole thing.
Okay.
What steps will you take to reduce illegal dumping and improve bulk waste pickup reliability?
Okay. So that is a great question. And I was at that meeting, the District 7 meeting, I actually was introduced by the sheriff that we have a drone. And so having drone surveillance in these high dumping areas would actually not only resolve that, but it would make it quicker that we get it done. And then that sends a direct signal to other communities, other people, to not come in Pontiac anymore, because now we have the enhanced ability to catch these guys faster. Now, as it relates to bulk dumping, making sure that we're being transparent from a governing standpoint, so the at-large committee, where you all citizens can be a part of that, where again, you will get direct information from your at-large person about, hey, these are bulk days. This is the number you call when you miss bulk days. And this is how you be in compliance so that you get your bulk removed.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
One last time.
Okay. What steps will you take to reduce illegal dumping and improve bulk waste pickup reliability?
Well, when it comes to the dumping, obviously, we can always put cameras in areas. You know, cameras seem to work a little effectively to be able to capture when those illegal dumpings are happening. I also think that we need to make sure that the fines are stiffer, because if I'm able to do an illegal dumping and there is no harsh recourse for it, then that doesn't deter me from doing that. So I think that's one of the biggest things, that we have things that happen here and we don't have a harsh recourse for it. So we have to do something about that. And I think cameras being there, he mentioned drones. Obviously, the sheriff's office has drones. And so, yes, utilizing those drones to find out who's doing it, where's the location, where did they go, and they're able to find and actually prosecute those that are actually doing the illegal dumping.
Thank you. This next question will go first to Mr. Thurkel. What plans do you have to increase community engagement, their input, and voter turnout?
Okay, so for community engagement, one of the things that I think is lacking is that our community sometimes, we have challenges, we have issues, and we don't know who to address it with. So one of the things that I look at is I want to start what I am calling Council Connect. Many of these times we go to these meetings and sometimes we pass the buck. Is it a sheriff's office issue? Is it a city issue? Some people won't get engaged because I don't know who it is. And as a citizen, you should not have to worry about who gets this complaint. You just need to be able to make the complaint and then let city leaders decide where those things go. I think even with the turnaround time, if you make a complaint, within 48 hours, you should be able to get a response back from that complaint. That will make sure that folks feel engaged and make sure that they don't feel like they've been left out.
Thank you, Mr. Thurkel. Mr. Austin.
No, that is absolutely a great question. And one of the first things that I would like to institute is the at-large committee. The at-large committee is something that has been developed from citizens saying, no transparency, no trust in their leadership. They don't know what's going on, and everyone can't make a council meeting. So the at-large committee will be set up in districts 1 through 6. It will be all Pontiac residents. So every district has the ability to come together. We can disseminate solutions. We could talk about best practices, and that's the way to not only raise the morale, but the participation in our city. Now, Mr. Thurkel mentioned the 48 hours. I do have something on my literature that's called the 48-hour initiative. And so what we're looking to do is, one, when I intake an issue that I am calling you back within 24 hours, that issue is being put into the correct department, and now that department's responsibility
Thank you, Mr. Austin.
24 hours.
Thank you. This next question will first go to Mr. Austin. It's kind of a long question. But
Okay.
We had a millage for upgrades a few years ago, but it seems the job was not completed and much of what was done poorly. There is a failing culvert. Is there a failing culvert on a handicap ramp? It needs to be repaired. Please tell us your thoughts on the failing infrastructure and particularly drainage.
Well, that is a great question. And as it relates to infrastructure, I have a lot of plans with infrastructure, but in particular for drainage, I live in Fieldstone and I travel Giddings Road. So as many who live over there know, Giddings floods often when it rains. So one of the first things that we have to do as a governing body is look at ways to create pipelines for our drainage. Now, what I'm understanding is over there, the drains are old and they have not been maintained or repaired in quite some time. That's a governing body responsibility, making sure that we are maintaining our major infrastructure things on a quarterly, yearly, or whatever state qualifies says we need to maintenance our things on. So that is one way I want to deal with infrastructure, but in particularly drainage. The county can help with that as well. They're coming in with a lot of money to get the lead removed off pipes, and there we go with getting new drainage and sewer clean out.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Mr. Thurkel?
So,
Okay, you want me to repeat the, yeah, it was a long question. We had a millage for upgrades a few years ago, but it seems the job was not completed, and much of what was done poorly. There is a failing culvert on a handicap ramp. It needs to be repaired. Tell us your thoughts about our failing infrastructure, particularly drainage.
okay. So it sounds, according to this question, we're talking about somebody not doing work correctly. Well, I think that is our responsibility as the city to hold whoever it is that we pay responsible for the mishandling of that drainage system. We all know, and I think all of us have been a part of heavy rains where there's drainage and there's floods, and that can cause a lot of trouble for a lot of our communities. So we have to be better at not allowing folks to come into our community, take on contracts, do the work, not do it properly, and then move on. We need to make sure that we're doing a better job of holding those folks accountable so that we get what we paid for. Get what we pay for. Stop allowing folks to come in and misuse us and do things that they wouldn't do in other communities. So we need to do a better job of holding them in compliance and make sure that they're held accountable.
Thank you. This next question will first go to Mr. Thurkel, and this will probably be our last question of the night. What programs will you implement to support returning citizens, specifically with rehabilitation, housing, and second chance programs?
Okay, that's a great question. So what I believe in, when we talk about programs for those that are returning, anyone, I think everybody deserves a second chance. Everybody. And so sometimes I think what happens is we create programs when programs are already out there. What we have to do is identify those programs, make sure that they're properly funded so that they can handle that. There is no need to come up and create new programs when there are programs out there. Everyone deserves a second chance. Everyone deserves a chance at a good quality of life. And so I believe that we need to just fund those programs that are already there, those that already exist.
Thank you. Mr. Austin.
No, that's a great question. Here in Michigan, we have about 10,000 to 11,000 inmates returning home from incarceration a year. So creating something like a community resource office where people who are returning home have direct connection with resources that are available. We have many people here in the city of Pontiac that have since returned home from incarceration and done great things. I have a brother, Dak Davis. I know another one of my brothers, Jermaine Branner, my uncle, Cornelius Walker, Marcus Kelly is another brother, Ronnie Waters. Flip the Script is an organization that we have here in Pontiac that's doing great things. Midnight Coalition that Marcus Kelly is involved in that's doing great things. So making sure that as a governing body, we not only are helping them with funding, but creating something like a community resource center where brothers and sisters that are coming in have direct connection to resources and they can thrive, which I believe they will here in the city of Pontiac.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This concludes our time for questions. Candidates will now be able to have a 1-minute closing statement in reverse order of the opening statements. So we'll begin with candidate Thurkel.
Okay. Good evening, citizens, again. Thank you for allowing me this opportunity. This has been something where I believe that when we're talking about voters, the best voter is always going to be an informed voter. And so I am glad that you allowed us to, your listening ear to see what we had to say. You have trusted me for over 26 years to lead. I'm a fighter. I will continue to fight for this city. It's not about the people that are running, it's about where the city is heading. I am hoping that if you trust me the way that you've trusted me for 26 years, we can continue to fight this battle. We can fight for what's best for Pontiac. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Austin, you have 1 minute.
Pontiac, I am a reflection of you. I'm a reflection of your teaching, your foundation, and your love. Everything that I am, everything that I will accomplish, I give honor to God, to my family, and the great city of Pontiac. There is no I in at large. You will never see me in this position. It will always be us. I am asking you to elect a man with a plan. I hope that I have given you that plan and showed you that I am ready to take this position and I am ready to serve you. Adrian Austin for City Council at Large. You can file that as soon as you leave in an absentee ballot. You can you can vote October 25th through November 2nd, or if you choose to wait until November 4th. I humbly ask for your vote. God bless. Everyone get home safe. Thank you.
Thank you. We will now take a 5-minute break and then start again with the mayoral forum.
Thank you, gentlemen. Very well done. Thank you very much.
Testing, testing. 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 Testing, 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 testing. Testing. Testing.
They're gonna have to pick it up. Oh. They're gonna have to pick it up. Yeah, right here it's not gonna work. You're gonna have to come up. Unless you want me to turn it all the way up. Testing, testing, testing. You're still gonna have to pick it up. If you try to talk back here, won't you gotta at least come up.
Testing.
It was a little low. Now, is that too loud right there? Is this too loud?
If you guys can take your seats so we can get started.
Moderators here, but the audience is there, and we had some really high numbers on the streaming for the last couple of forums, so there's probably at least 700 people, if not 1,000 people online. Do you want to be talking to people on there?
All right, as we continue, I'm just going to reiterate some of those important notes from before. Please silence all cell phones. Refrain from personal recording or photography during the forum. This event is copywritten by the League of Women Voters 2025, and a recording of this forum will be available on the presenting organization's website within a week. For clarity of sound recording, we ask that the candidates please remain seated. We also ask that the audience hold all applause until the end of the forum, and please return the surveys before you leave. An additional, Tori, if you guys can see Tori over there, she is collecting signatures for Invest in Our Kids. So please see Tori to sign that petition. All right, so welcome back to the mayoral forum. As we begin again with the two candidates for mayor, it's important to remember the scope of influence that this position has on the community. Just a reminder for those that do not know, the mayor serves as the chief executive officer in the city, responsible for providing leadership, setting direction, and ensuring the local government operates effectively and in the best interest of the community. The mayor works closely with the city council and city departments and residents to shape the vision, policy, and priorities for the city's growth and well-being. Key responsibilities, leadership and vision. The mayor represents the voice and interests of the entire city. They set goals, lead strategic planning, and help guide the community's overall direction, focusing on the issues such as public safety, housing, economic development, youth programs, and quality of life. Policy and decision-making. Depending on the form of government, the mayor may propose new policies, ordinance, and budgets to the city council. The mayor often works with council members to review and approve city laws, resolutions, and major projects. Also, budget and financial oversight. The mayor helps develop and presents the city annual budget, ensuring that the funds are used responsibly and that city services like police, if we had it, police, fire, public works, and recreation are properly supported. Community representation. The mayor serves as the official representative of the city at public events, community meetings, regional collaborations, and government partnerships. They act as the city's spokesperson, promote civic pride, and building relationships with residents and businesses and other agencies. They also deal with administration and oversight, and also emergency management, such as times of crisis, and also public engagement and accountability. So in summary, the mayor is the city's leader, advocate, bridge builder, guiding policy, managing resources, and ensuring that all residents have a voice in shaping their community's future. While city council members represent districts or the city at large, the mayor represents Pontiac as a whole, working to create unity, progress, and opportunities for every neighborhood. And now, back to Rhonda Craig for the questions for the candidates.
Thank you, Delia. This forum is for the position of Mayor of Pontiac, with the two candidates, Mike McGinnis and Kermit Williams. As we begin again, I'd like to remind everyone to please silence your cell phones. We will begin with opening statements from our candidates. Mr. McGinnis, you have 1 minute.
Good evening. Thank you, everybody, for investing your time in our great city. This is a beautiful place to live. I'm honored to call it home, to be a homeowner here, and to have had the trust placed in me to serve my neighbors and my family as a Pontiac School Board trustee, twice elected citywide, as well as representing the East Side on the City Council for these last 4 years, and elected by my colleagues as our council president. We have made great strides as a community over recent decades, and I think that we have made even stronger steps forward in these last 4 years. I'm running for mayor so that we can keep the positive forward momentum going, so we can finish the major projects and improve the quality of life for all of us on all sides of town, and also to make sure that we work together across all sides of town, all differences, because we are stronger when we get things done together. And I'm running to move us forward faster, and I'm looking forward to answering as many questions as possible in our limited time. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Williams.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. I would be remiss if I didn't honor the world-renowned Golden Opportunity Club in their home. If you're a member, just wave your hand at me so we can make sure the Golden Opportunity is honored. Y'all can clap for them. I know y'all can't clap to the end, but y'all can clap for the Golden Opportunity Club. The opportunities that those seniors had based on this city were tremendous. We had 4 community centers, 2 Boys and Girls Clubs, and a YMCA. Everything that I am, everything that I will be is because Pontiac gave me that opportunity. But our kids face a very stark difference right now. At the end of the day, we have to deal with the issue of 25% of our community living in poverty, and kids finding a way as soon as they get 18 to move somewhere else because they don't see a future in Pontiac. But I see that future, and we can build it together. We have to believe in Pontiac again, and I need your help. Throughout this next couple of questions, I want to make sure that people know in Pontiac that not only are we hopeful.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. And now the question and answer segment of our forum. Answers have 1 minute time limit, and we will begin with Mr. Williams. And that question is, what would you do differently than the current mayor, and will you do a forensic audit?
I'll answer the second question first. Yes, forensic audit is one of the top 3 things that I want to do. I don't want to focus on what the previous administration didn't do. We can look outside and see that. I want to talk about the things that we can actually build, like fixing the Martin Luther King Bridge, making sure that we have a youth center and also having reading labs throughout the city, making sure we have jobs that go to Pontiac residents first, whether it be building like Chuck Johnson getting demolition contracts and others, and also making sure that we're having a true partnership with our education system. So working with Trustee Dooley and others to make sure that we're actually building a Pontiac that we can believe in again. We have some stark numbers. Pontiac has been on the decline since I've been alive, but we have an opportunity to reset, and we need to bring everybody to the table in order to do that. No matter who they are in Pontiac, we need a mayor for all people.
Thank you. Mr. McGinnis?
Thank you. We have seen record results when it comes to grant funding in our city. Record numbers, tens of millions of dollars, funding that we can make major projects and major improvements happen. So our current mayor deserves a great deal of credit because he has put a lot of emphasis and staff time in bringing in big dollars from the state, the federal government, the county, and a lot of foundations. So we have record dollars, but one area that has not been as successful is getting those projects completed and communicating with all of us, letting us know where it stands, where it is on the pipeline, and when we can expect to see results. We have the blessing that we have the dollars to get that bridge project done, and we don't have to eat that cost. But we have an opportunity to better let people know where it stands, what they can expect, how it might impact their daily life. That's a big area that has not been as effective under this current administration. I look forward to really modernizing our communications and project updates.
Thank you. This next question will first go to Mr. McGinnis. If elected, do you plan on instituting the ethic board or having an integrity officer?
Yes, not only is it best practice, it's also required. The city charter, as revised by the people of Pontiac, establishes these practices where we would have a public integrity officer, a board of ethics, and a straightforward process where if a resident or an elected official or a staff member, if there's an issue or a question, it can be independently investigated. That has been a challenge with our current administration, with them implementing it in a timely manner. If elected, I would start in January, and I want to make sure that we can set those positions up so that way as soon as possible we can get them implemented. It's overdue, it needs to happen, and as somebody that has himself gone through very gut-wrenching experiences where before I was an elected official, was in the legal process, I feel a lot stronger as our next mayor to have an independent process and way so that way any question, any allegation, it can be independently investigated and I can keep doing the work of leading the city.
Thank you. Mr. Williams?
Yes, I'm one of the charter members who helped get that installed. The charter passed overwhelmingly because I actually left City Council to run for the Charter Commission because we had ethics challenges in the city and now we have it mandated. I'm sad to say that it hasn't been implemented, but other parts of the charter have. We've instituted the districts, we've instituted pay raises for the City Council president, but when it comes to ethics, it hasn't been a focus. But day one, when we get in office, we're going to make sure the citizens have trust, transparency, and real leadership.
Thank you. The next question will first go to Mr. Williams, and that question is, how are you going to work with the council to get business done?
Great question. I've already been working with this previous council, even though I wasn't elected. It's very important that the government of Pontiac not only run smoothly, but have the people at interest at first. One of the things that I'm going to do is make sure that the council are truly thought partners in what we need to do. Their role is to create policy. The role of the mayor is to administer that policy, but two can't go together unless they agree. And so we want to make sure that first we listen to the citizens before we roll out any platform, because some of the changes that have been made have not been citizen friendly or citizen first. And so we want to make sure that day one we're going to have a Pontiac community meeting of all of the stakeholders, not only citizens but businesses, to come to the table to reset Pontiac again.
Thank you. Mr. McGinnis?
You've seen my work as our City Council President these last 4 years, handling and presiding at our council meetings, making sure that we're tackling city business. That was a big priority for me, to make sure that we focus on moving through the people's business, tackling agenda items, and doing it professionally. It isn't always easy. We don't always agree, but that experience has informed me and will make me a stronger mayor, because I know essentially, as a current council member, what so many of my colleagues and I want are exactly what residents want. They want to know what's going on. They want to know what are the status of things, why isn't something completed yet, and that'll be a primary responsibility for me as mayor and the staff, is making sure that council members are informed so they can help share that information. As a mayor, I will be attending all of the district council meetings consistently, so that way I can be right getting answers to those council members, but also their constituents. There's a lot of work we can do, and we can learn from the best practices as we continue to get stronger as a city in our governing process.
Thank you. The next question will first go to Mr. McGinnis, and that question is, please comment about the safety or lack of safety on the MLK Bridge. Which would you prioritize, the bridge or community center?
So I think we're all aware of what the two issues are, but to answer the second question first, we're blessed that we have the resources and the funding to get both done. But if it was a magic wand question of you could do one or the other, I'll take the magic wand for the recreation center, because that one costs twice as much as the bridge, and it's better to get double the money from outside sources. And of course, the priority of building up our youth and providing those essential services, it's going to make a big difference in our quality of life long term. Again, we have the funding for both projects, and that's a blessing, but it's also a lesson with the bridge and preventative maintenance. That bridge is less than 50 years old. It should have never gotten to that point. Inspections happened every 2 years as the state mandates, and that limited repair work, if done earlier, would be a lot more cost effective. The bridge would still be open, and it wouldn't be such an inconvenience and a safety problem. We need both to happen yesterday.
Thank you. Mr. Williams?
I will fix the bridge first. I almost didn't make it to the debate because I got stuck by the train. And then if you look at my flyers, we've been working on having a youth center. The youth millage that Patrice Waterman and others that are in this room helped create literally was 10 years ago. We have to get a youth millage passed again, and we have to have a youth center. One of the things is we have to make sure that we have not only workers that are safe, but we have to make sure that our kids can get to whatever building we have together. But 92% of our 8th graders cannot read at grade level in Pontiac schools. And we have to do everything that we can with reading labs in order to make sure these kids not only just recreate, but are able to move forward in the future. If you can't read by 5th grade, they're building a prison cell for you. And we need to make sure our kids have hope, destiny, and an opportunity to be great.
Thank you. This next question will first go to Mr. Williams. Who will be your deputy mayor?
All right. So this is a good question. I have not decided who will be the deputy mayor of the city. I'm trying to get the job first, to be honest with you people. But the second part, the second part of this is I've been looking for a chief financial officer. Since I left city council, we have not had a long time chief financial officer looking at the books. And so when y'all came with the audit question, yes, that's day one. That's before the bridge. That's before anything else. Because if you can't tell the citizens how much money there truly is, then you can't manage anything. And so we need to be very clear about looking at the money first and then making sure that the agenda fits the money we actually have. And when we're going into a recession, it's very important that you have a mayor that knows how to do more with less.
Thank you. Mr. McGinnis.
No, I have not made that decision. First and foremost, we all get to decide. We have a hiring committee of 40,000 people deciding who gets the mayor job for the next 4 years, and I'm going through that intense and interesting process, interacting with all of you. I have not made that decision. The charter does have specific requirements, so it's not any and everybody. There is a specific limited pool, and I'm going to look for a deputy mayor that's going to have the same drive, work ethic, engagement to move as much as possible, move mountains to make our city stronger and better. There is a ton of work to do. I'm not going to lie to you. And we need to have an engaged mayor, deputy mayor, city staff, city council, all of us as residents to keep the progress moving forward. It's going to take hard work. I'm up for it. We as a community are up for it, and I'm looking forward to doing that together, whomever that partner is as deputy mayor confirmed by city council.
Thank you. The next question will first go to Mr. McGinnis, and that question is, what is your plan to make sure our street lights are in good working condition? Right now we have children waiting in the dark due to lights out for months.
Our infrastructure challenges aren't just limited to street lights, and that's a major one. It impacts safety, quality of life. I mean, we all live it. We all experience it as Pontiac residents, and it's something that is really harming us and how we are living in our neighborhoods. I seek to rebuild our public works operations. We've been hollowed to the bone by emergency managers through the past and financial challenges. Now that we've emerged from that financial backs against the wall, we've rebuilt code enforcement. Now we need to rebuild public works operations with a facility, with resources, with staff, and doing preventative maintenance. That includes with our very unique and challenging older infrastructure. We have whole sections of the street that go out when one wiring issue goes down, and it's in concrete. So it's expensive, it's complex, but we have to keep tackling it. And luckily we've gotten record grant funding, and you'll be seeing more of these decisions come to City Council in the coming weeks. We're tackling those issues, and as mayor, I'm excited to move it even forward faster.
Thank you. Mr. Williams.
We need to have an infrastructure audit. There's sidewalks that we put $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 in that never got paved in the city. Every couple of years, the city comes up with a plan to look at one section, sidewalks or one thing. We need to make sure that every light in the city is accounted for. And then we also need to work with our school district, because kids are sitting in the dark waiting for the buses, and they can give us that information quicker than anybody else. But you also have to hire some people that live in the city, so when they go home, they see the street light is out, so when they come to work the next day, we're not calling DPW. They live here, so they say, oh, Pike Street is out. We've got too many people that check out at 4:30, and we need to bring more Pontiac people back home.
Thank you. The next question will first go to Mr. Williams. And that question is, how would you balance traditional law enforcement with prevention-based approaches, such as youth programs, neighborhood partnerships, or mental health crisis response teams?
So today, I was just blessed to get the endorsement for Moms Demand Action as a gun sense candidate. And the reason I got that endorsement is because I've been working with End Gun Violence Michigan as the vice president. We've been able to change gun laws. We fought for community violence intervention, and prevention beats an ounce of cure anytime. But we have to be honest. We have to actually make sure that when we're dealing with policing, we're telling the truth. Sometimes police officers do the wrong thing, sometimes they do the right thing, but right now we have no tracking system. So I'm also on a state board that looks at policing, especially around African Americans, and what I want to do is put in a community dashboard to actually look at what they're doing, how many stops they're making, and how many stops are affecting particular communities, because we need to make sure that we're actually using data in order to focus on all of that. And then we got to fund CVI even more.
Thank you. Mr. McGinnis.
Thank you. The need for community policing is consistent and strong. It's why, with our renewal of contracts with the Sheriff's Department, we've ensured as a City Council that that is maintained, is well funded, and we've invested American Rescue Plan funds into community violence intervention. It's proven and it's working not only in Pontiac but also in Detroit, Flint, and other communities throughout the state. It's leading to dramatic drops in violent crime, and I want to make sure that we're investing the resources smartly so that way we can keep seeing those decreases right where we need it most, with our neighborhoods, with our children, making sure that every neighborhood is safe, solid, and secure. We have seen in recent years a major policy improvement where all of the sheriff deputies in the city of Pontiac, they are required and they are using body-worn cameras. They are on them at all times. They also are expanding social workers doing ride-alongs with them. It's improving the outcomes, and it's also protecting our most vulnerable residents when they're interacting with a very stressful and perhaps high-risk environment.
Thank you. The next question will first go to Mr. McGinnis. What plans do you have to help people 18 and older to obtain employment?
We are in a unique time in Michigan where a lot of people are working not in the city they live in. 90% of the people that live in Pontiac, they're working outside of our city. So we have to be modern and thinking ahead about how do we connect jobs and amazing careers for all of our residents. But we also have unique employers right here in the city that can create career pipelines and opportunities for all of our residents. And that comes from Williams International, yes, M1 Concourse, General Motors, of course, but all of our employers, they can be the inspiration and the hope for a lot of our children and young adults for what can be possible for them career-wise. And we are blessed to have in our city the Pontiac Promise Zone, which will invest $50,000 for every young adult that graduates from a school within the Pontiac School District boundaries. We have to make sure everybody in our city knows that, everyone's using it, and that it really can open up so much opportunity and career pathways for all of our residents.
Thank you. Mr. Williams?
Yes, I'll champion that Pontiac Promise Zone piece. I worked on the FAFSA committee, and we have a problem with our community members actually filling out the form for their kids. Millions of dollars are going to waste right now because every kid is not filling out a FAFSA. And so we need to make sure that they're doing that and accessing the money. But on a local level, as mayor, we're going to have a program called Pontiac Proud. We're going to take 18 to 40-year-olds and make sure that half the day they're going to spend cleaning and beautifying the city, but the other half they're going to either have to get their GED or work with OCC or a reputable company in order to make sure they're getting an associate's degree or getting into skilled trades. Because the problem with the trades is people have to give up gainful employment to take that time out, and they're not doing that because they need to feed their family immediately, and the city of Pontiac can help with that.
Thank you. The next question will first go to Mr. Williams. As it relates to persons with mental illness, are Oakland County sheriffs trained in crisis intervention?
So I believe that they have great staff that is doing that, but we need to be able to deal with mental health before it gets to that point. By the time the sheriff shows up for a crisis, even with an intervention, I just remember the lady who had ended up biting 2 sheriff deputies because she was having an episode. And the way that they put her in prison for 60 days was really inhumane because we knew she was dealing with a problem. But we need to make sure that we're funding community network services, Honor Community Health, others that have these behavioral health institutes in order to make sure all of our citizens are recognized. And it starts with our kids. A lot of kids are going through depression, mental illness, and other things. And so in this new community center or centers, we're going to make sure that we have behavioral health specialists on the team in those buildings to make sure they're dealing with our kids. And then finally, we got to remove the stigma. It's not about the sheriff, it's about the whole community coming together.
Thank you. Mr. McGinnis?
And just a housekeeping note, if you do want me to stand, I'm happy to do it. I'm not trying to throw anybody off. They told me to sit, so I'm trying to do what I'm supposed to do. But to the question of mental health and how we are intervening and with law enforcement, that's my whole reason why I even got interested in public service and politics in the first place. My father, and both my parents in fact, but my father more acutely suffers from mental illness and was hospitalized at Clinton Valley Center here in Pontiac on and off in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and sometimes in jail and prison as he was experiencing different episodes. And it had a big, major, and sometimes, really stigma-inducing effect on me as a kid, and knowing that information and fearing what other people would think of me and my family. But also it radicalized me because when the state closed Clinton Valley in the 90s, and my dad had another manic episode, I was a teenager living with him in the Knolls, and there was nowhere to go. No more Clinton Valley, no more support. It was chaotic, it was uncertain, and I thank God for everyone that's in that profession, but we've got to build a stronger, more easily navigable system for everybody.
Thank you, Mr. McGinnis. The next question will go to Mr. McGinnis. And that question is, how are you going to deal with code enforcement, looking over issues in rental homes that endanger residents and children?
Okay, thank you, and please, again, let me know if I'm supposed to be standing. I want to do what's best to reach everybody. The code enforcement advancements that we've made as a city right now have been really dramatic. And it's because we now have the resources, thanks to all of us in the room and growing business tax base, where we can afford to have a more robust code enforcement team and operation. It's leading to neighborhoods and businesses being held accountable, to rental properties being inspected, and making sure that every rental property is paying their fair share, is being held to account, and that there's safety standards for the structure. It's essential. And it's a lot of work, and I really commend the code enforcement team. Many of them, Pontiac residents. A lot of our City Hall staff, they do live in Pontiac. They are from Pontiac in the community. It makes their work stronger, and code enforcement is a great example of that. As mayor, I want to keep that positive momentum going and make it even stronger, more robust, so that way it's serving all sides of town, all times a year, all the time.
Thank you. Mr. Williams.
Our code enforcement people do a good job, but I want to make sure all of them are certified. Right now, I don't know how many are certified. I don't believe it's any. But we need to make sure that we're giving them the training that they need in order to operate. But also, we have to fix our antiquated code enforcement system. We use a program called BS&A, which is an accounting system to do code enforcement in the city. We have to get rid of that day one in order to make sure that people have a tracking system. So when you call City Hall, there's a pleasant person that answers the phone and tells you that you are ticket number 75 and we're going to be able to get back to you in 3 weeks. When you call in 3 weeks, they can pull up ticket number 75. Right now, they're trying to do a tabulation instead of doing code enforcement on that system. These systems that we are using are 20 years outdated, and we need to make sure that Pontiac is in the year 2025 and going into the year 2026.
Thank you. Our next question will go to Mr. Williams, and that question is, how do you plan to make our streets safer with respect to pedestrian and vehicular traffic?
Is that the whole question?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. One of the things we need to do, we talked about lighting earlier. We also need to make sure that we have appropriate street lights. We are going down Auburn Road right now, which is facing major construction, and the 2 major intersections have blinking lights right now that is causing trauma and tragedy throughout the city. We have to make sure that this is smart when we're doing it. We also need to respond to the people who are asking for speed bumps. Every door that I knock on, somebody has a complaint about people rolling the stop sign and other things. But the only way we're going to actually renegade that or remedy it is to actually have an actual system to evaluate what our street signs are doing, what our street lights are doing. And right now, we don't have any citizen group that actually does that to help the city out. And I want to bring that back to Pontiac.
Thank you. Mr. McGinnis.
There's a few factors at play here, and it's a serious issue. I think we all have seen it. We've lived it. We're in the neighborhoods. We see people are driving more intense than ever, it feels like. And one that's in part on all of us, how we can help govern ourselves. We can help us just navigate our neighborhoods a lot more safely. Also, we have to make sure that things are well engineered and well implemented. We have, as a city, a responsibility when it comes to our infrastructure. The smoothness of the roads, installation of speed humps, but there's many other traffic calming measures we can do. Some initiatives have gone underway, and we have gotten a lot of grant funding to be able to afford it. And so as mayor, I look forward to implementing those initiatives and seeing more resources come to the table, benefit our residents, and make these improvements in our neighborhoods. I hear it all the time as well through all sides of town. I think we have to look in the mirror. I know we don't have any speeders in this room, and everyone comes to a full, complete stop in this room, but in our city, we got to do better as a community, and we got to make sure that our streets are safer.
Thank you. This next question will go first to Mr. McGinnis, and that question is, what solutions would you propose for the noise level, especially in District 1?
Yeah, definitely something that's gotten a lot of attention, and it's an ongoing struggle. We have a major business, privately owned business, that's on the south side in District 1 that's been there for about a decade, and what the City Council has tried to do is tackle it and make sure that it's workable. We were spending tens of thousands of all of our tax dollars fighting a few noise ordinance tickets that we've actually been working to enforce the noise ordinance, and as a result of that, we had to make a strategic decision on, do you keep spending all of these tens of thousands of dollars on this minor enforcement, or try and come up with something more workable? I know that it doesn't make everybody happy. We're living with it regardless of the ordinance or not, and what we've got to do is make sure that those impacted neighborhoods see the benefits of that private business. They're generating taxes, and as mayor, I want to see over $1 million a year going to the targeted investment in those neighborhoods. It's a hard call. It was the call that I had to make sure that we could protect the taxpayers and make sure that we're protecting all sides of town.
Thank you, Mr. McGinnis. Mr. Williams.
Day one, I'm going to look at how we can repeal this agreement that was made at 12 midnight after the citizens had left that wanted to talk about the noise ordinance. I see Ms. Mann back there shaking her head. She deals with it every day. And so for people who don't know, the noise got raised by this agreement from 61 decibels to basically 111 before they get a ticket, meaning it went from the sound of a lawnmower in your neighbor's yard and the backyard to a lawnmower in your ear. And that's what the citizens on the south side and east side are dealing with. And so as mayor, I'm going to look at any creative solution we have to lower the noise, and I promise it's going to be Pontiac citizens first, corporation second. Have a great day.
Thank you. The next question will first go to Mr. Williams, and that question is, What are you going to do for local resident-owned small businesses?
I'm not going to do anything for locally owned small businesses. We are going to do something as a city together in order to help them. We're going to make sure we bring back the $1 million revolving loan fund that helped many of the businesses be able to thrive. I created a community newsletter called Kermit Presents that I paid for out of my pocket because businesses during the pandemic were not getting the retail hits that they needed. And so businesses have been able to survive because we had that, and senior citizens were able to connect to what needs to happen. I want to expand that through the city. The city newsletter talks way too much about the city and less about the people. We need to make sure that every dollar we're spending is actually generating a way to make our local people rich in Pontiac. I want to make y'all rich. I'm so tired of surrounding areas getting the benefit of our city when we can benefit right here. There are millions of dollars that go through the city every year. I want to make sure it touches each and every pocket in this room.
Thank you. Mr. McGinnis?
A few different policy changes that are on the table right now that I'm fully supportive of and helping push forward. One is a community benefits ordinance, so that way we can make sure that local businesses, our thriving entrepreneurs, are able to benefit when larger investments come through our city. Also, a local contractor and local vendor preference, meaning that when we're awarding any contracts or making any purchases as a city, that those local small businesses located here in Pontiac have that local preference. And I'm looking forward to, as mayor, being able to implement those new policies. We also want to make sure that our downtown and all of the major streets are thriving, and that will absolutely be the case when we have Pontiac-based businesses, our residents driving a lot of that small business ecosystem. We have an amazing, interesting downtown. We have a lot of infrastructure, and we need to make sure that those that are online-based or those that are emerging entrepreneurs, those food trucks, that they are able to scale up and do it with city support, with resources, grants, and all the support we can do from city.
Thank you. Mr. McGinnis, you will answer the next question first. And that question is, winter is coming. What are your plans for snow and ice removal on side streets for businesses and sidewalks?
A major need, and obviously very time sensitive. This is something that in recent years the city needs to get stronger on. We can make sure that as soon as there's any type of weather incident, that we're being more proactive about salting and plowing. What we're challenged with is we have a hollowed out public works operation. We used to have 100,000 square feet on Wesson Street and over 200 DPW workers. Now we're in 5,000 square feet rented with about 14 DPW workers. We have to keep building back those public works operations, and a prime way that will help us and save us money is on our salting of our streets. We need to build a salt dome at our new public works facility, so that way we can have those resources and hold them on our site, and we're not paying through the nose, paying market rates, and having to wait in line behind other communities. That's got to stop, and I'm looking forward to being able to lead that charge as we rebuild public works.
Thank you. Mr. Williams?
Not only do we need to bring back the infrastructure, we also need to bring back brine. What that is the little blue salt that goes on the roads. It makes salt freezing temperatures melt even quicker. We have to also change our policy for where we go out to these side streets. We know that we used to have major snow routes in the city. We got rid of that. The other thing that we need to do with salt, snow and trash is make sure that when the streets are getting swept, we're actually telling cars to move the day before. We're the only city that I know that doesn't put out information on where the street sweeper is coming. We brought that back in-house under our city council. And the last thing about infrastructure, I see Gloria Miller here, we need to make sure that we're bringing back animal control. We literally have people on my campaign knocking doors, getting bit by dogs that are rabid. This is things that we need to bring back in the city, not just a snow plowing, but making sure that everything that we do in the city is smart.
Thank you. This next question will first go to Mr. Williams, and that question is transparency. How exactly would you improve transparency between the city and residents? What changes would you make toward that end?
Stop lying to people. That's the first thing. The second thing is actually listening to the community. Every major decision we should make in the city has to have the people first. I get so much newsletters about a festival or something going on downtown. When it came to the Harvest Fest, I was well informed. When it came to buying Pontiac Central for $12 million cash, I was barely informed. These things don't make sense. And so we need to be able to come to the taxpayers first. And then on the city's website, we actually need to show people where their tax dollars are going. When we were on city council, we made sure that the check registry was in every packet. Let me say that again. So you get to see how people are spending your dollars, because at the end of the day, the citizens are our boss. And so we have to stop lying to people, but we also have to be overly communicative when there's big projects that happen in the city so the people don't feel left behind.
Thank you. Mr. McGinnis?
You've seen how I've been running the campaign, mailing you, over-mailing you, calling, texting, email, knocking, signs, videos, social media. That kind of proactive, over and over way is how we can let residents know what's going on. And even still, there'll be a lot of residents say, I didn't know that was happening. We all know that. We live here. And we have to, as a city, just be smart, proactive, and then organized. A lot of what isn't coming out from our mayor and administration isn't because they don't want you to know, it's that they're not as organized and ahead of the curve enough to give you and the city council enough of a heads up. I look forward to changing that, turning the page so that way we all can be better informed, better engaged, and I look forward to keep innovating different ways that we can get the word out, but then also hear back from you. There is no one set perfect way to do it. Let's keep building and growing stronger as we build these advisory boards and commissions, that we think of creative ways to have online or social media engagement, that we are making decisions as a community and doing it in a positive, future-focused way.
Thank you. This next question will first go to Mr. McGinnis. And that question is, Pontiac's diversity includes people of many races, backgrounds, and identities. In what ways do you personally connect to this fact, and how do you plan to uplift these diverse groups?
Excellent question, and really Pontiac's unique and diverse fabric of our neighborhoods is part of our strength. We have one of the most diverse cities in Michigan, not just Oakland County, in Michigan, and it's something that we can market, that we can wield, and we also have to protect. We have a lot of our neighbors are very vulnerable right now because of federal changes, especially our immigrant brothers and sisters. So that's something as mayor I want to make sure that I'm protecting, safeguarding, but leading, including all of us. For me personally, there's a lot of struggles that I personally will never know, and I recognize my privilege, I recognize the opportunities that's afforded me in life. I also have had some unique pathways, though, in terms of having a parent with mental illness, having a parent that went through the criminal justice system, my own brushes with legal challenges before I was an elected official, and I am openly gay. I know that for some that's a curveball, that's something I've had to contend with my professional life, and it will be something that as mayor, it doesn't dictate and define me, but it's something I've got to make sure everyone knows. Hey.
Mr. Williams.
So I can't see everybody now, but they told me it was impacting the sound, so I'm gonna stay seated. One of the things is my mom, who's my shero, has cerebral palsy. And so growing up as an African-American child, she named me after my granddad, Kermit, and that means free man. And so growing up in Pontiac, which is 47% black, 25% white, 25% Hispanic, and a couple percentage Asian Pacific, our diversity is something I fight for. I work at a social justice nonprofit that I'm on sabbatical now called Oakland Forward, that's been working for voter rights for all people, working with me, Poder, and other groups to make sure that we're there. But Pontiac's diversity has to be protected by cultural corridors. Right now, we don't have a liver noise in Pontiac. You look at Sheila's Bakeries and others, we're not celebrating that. And so the city needs to make sure that we are actually putting together something that's not just for downtown, but for the culture that represents this city and landmarks that are there. You look at this.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. The next question will be first answered by Mr. Williams. And that question is, what will you do to bring a grocery store to Pontiac?
So I literally had a meeting with 10 grocers this morning, and what they said to me is, if you change the way that Pontiac does business, we will be able to come into the city. They said not only is it too much red tape, you don't have a business liaison in the city to capture businesses, and you are not really business friendly. And I had to think about it. One of the things I want to do as mayor is take the economic development department of the city out of the basement. It can't be in the basement. We need a city brochure. We need some simple things, but the city needs to get out of the way for development. The other thing they asked me is the brown paper bag theory of people taking bribes and other things going in the city. And I said, I've been able to serve 15 years with no scandal, no corruption, and I pay for my own pop when I go to your grocery store. And they loved it.
Thank you. Mr. McGinnis?
Thank you. And if anyone had any audio issues at home hearing me, I apologize for that. Looks like we might be rocking and rolling now. The question about grocery stores in our community, it's essential. I think we all recognize how inconvenient it is or how challenged we are. And it's something that I'm looking forward to working collectively with our staff, our council, and all of us together, that with our power of our pocketbooks, that we can move something and we can finally get that. There's a few different ways to it. One, we got to look at the businesses that are actually growing, not those corporations that are closing. Aldi is one example. Obviously, they're on the margins of the city, have been before and with their new spot, but they're adding 200 additional stores. So when we see companies like that that are growing, how can we capitalize on that? We also have our current corporate partners of UWM and Amazon. Amazon Fresh is I personally haven't shopped there, but that's another grocery dynamic there that we want to tackle it from every possible angle. I'll keep pushing that, and I know it's a priority for our residents, and it's a priority for me as somebody living here. I would love to have that increased convenience and quality. Thank you.
The next question, and this will be the last question, will go to Mr. McGinnis first. And that question is the community agreement going to be written in the city ordinance? Something that's legally binding for those businesses.
Thank you. I think the question is referencing community benefits agreement, an opportunity where if we are ever going to be providing a tax incentive or a sale or transfer of city land, some city resource, that what is the skin in the game and what is the greater contribution beyond just tax collection or beyond just jobs. And that's what will be beneficial from a community benefits agreement. Yes, it's an ordinance before us, which essentially means like a city law. So that city law is binding, will have explicit requirements. That hasn't been adopted yet, so that can still be refined. And the beauty about local government is even though you set that law or you make that policy, we can keep getting it stronger and better. And that would be true in this instance in so many other ways, where we can keep getting stronger and smarter about how we're governing ourselves. That's what this election's about. How are we governing and determining what comes next for us as a community? And this is one great way that we can keep evolving and making it stronger.
Thank you. Mr. Williams.
Yes, and bless you. One of the things, almost 17 years ago, I worked with then lawyer and now Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib to bring a community benefits package to Pontiac. I'm glad that during this election cycle, we are now having a community benefits agreement. But we have to do more than just codify something in the law. We have to make a real effort to search out and seek people. What the federal government talks about is Section 3 requirement. So if there's a federal building that's done, they need a percentage of people to do the sidewalks or other things. And so when you look at buildings like the Strand, if you look at what happened at the county with that building, we need to be making sure that we're working with people who are doing economic development like Carlton Jones and others to make sure that our people are ready and qualified. There's no reason in Pontiac that we don't have Pontiac people holding up these signs for new construction in the city of Pontiac. I see these cones every day and I need to see people.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. That concludes our time for questions. Candidates now have 1 minute to make a closing statement in reverse order of the opening statements. So we'll begin with Mr. Williams.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Oakland Forward, League of Women Voters, Midnight Change Coalition, VACT, Justice Department, everybody else who helped make this event great. What I will say to the Pontiac people that are listening and have not yet to vote, and if you have voted, go get your ballot back and vote for me. The key component is it's time to invest in us. This whole election is not about where Pontiac is, it's about where Pontiac could be. And so I've been blessed to be able to accomplish a whole lot of things, but nothing matters if our city is not successful. So I'm asking to be your mayor in partnership so we can make sure that every deal in the city is mutually beneficial to the residents. I'm working for Pontiac folks, Pontiac businesses, Pontiac residents, and people who actually have a stake in our future, not for anybody outside.
Thank you,
Love
Mr. Williams. Mr. McGinnis.
I first want to say thank you. Thank you to all of you being here tonight and all of the event organizers, but also thank you to the people of Pontiac for the opportunity to serve my neighbors. Over the last 15 years as a homeowner, but as a volunteer, a nonprofit leader, an elected official serving on our school board and our city council, and then through my professional leadership, I've had the opportunity to give back in a lot of different ways and make our city stronger. And I'm grateful for that. It's something I'm passionate about. I love it. It's how I want to spend the rest of my life as long as there's breath in my body. And for my story, that wouldn't be possible in many other places. That's the beauty of Pontiac. We are able to have second, third, fourth chances to keep getting it right, to keep giving back. And I just want the message to go out, no matter the outcome for me or any other race on the ballot, everyone in Pontiac can contribute, make our city stronger, and I'm so grateful that my neighbors have been receptive to my willingness to want to serve, and I'd be honored to be our next mayor.
Thank you. That concludes our forum at this time. The League of Women Voters and their partners would like to thank the audience, staff at the Bowen Center, Bowen Senior Center, the candidates, and Effigy Media Arts Company for making this forum possible. Rebroadcast of this forum will be on the League of Women Voters Oakland area website, the partners website, and YouTube. The League of Women Voters is funded by contributions from concerned businesses and citizens. Our membership is open to women and men over the age of 16. This presentation is copyrighted 2025 by the League of Women Voters and can only be shown in its entirety. All rights are reserved. Remember, early voting starts October 25th, or you can vote at your precinct on November 4th. Remember, democracy is not a spectator sport. For concluding comments and important election dates, here is Angela Davenport from Voting Access for All Coalition and Charles Thomas of When You Vote, I Win.
Thank you. Thank you so much for turning out for such an important conversation. We thank the candidates. Thank you so much for the moderator and for all the organizations that were involved. It's been said many times already, but I also just want to reiterate, this was a group effort. I'm very grateful to our partners as we lift up this last forum before folks actually go out to vote. So thank you, Oakland Forward, Voters Not Politicians, League of Women Voters of Oakland area, When You Vote, I Win, Michigan Roundtable for Just Communities, Midnight Coalition, and Michigan League of Conservation Voters, and VAC, Voting Access for All Coalition. So I just want to lift up for a second that, you know, our organization works to ensure that anyone with a criminal record knows that they can vote in Michigan. So if you're not impacted, trust me, you know someone that is. Please make sure that you're sharing with your friends, families, neighbors. There's someone that you know that just needs you to ask if they need help making a voting plan and letting them know they can vote, even if they have a felony. So with that, I just want to say thank you again. I'm going to ask Charles to say a few words as we close. And just know that when people come home from incarceration, they need pathways to be able to be a part of our community. And I love and am so grateful that you have opened your arms in Pontiac to all of us to host these forums. So thank you.
Once again, we thank the candidates for coming out for these 4 days of forums, for coming out and making their platforms known to you, the people. And I just want to say what I said on last week so that it is very clear that when it comes to the Declaration of Independence, there is a line in there that says, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just power from the consent of the governed. The power, as I said on last week, is not on this side of the table, it's on this side. You all consent to their power. And understand that it is a wonderful thing when you look around the room and you see your neighbors that have come out to say, and those online, that they are very much interested in the future of Pontiac. That speaks very well of you as citizens, and I just pray that you all exercise your power. Go out and cast your ballot. Every time that poll opens, cast your ballot. And again, you can vote absentee now. You can vote early voting at the public library starting on the 25th through the 2nd, or you can vote at your polling place on November 4th. Become an informed voter. I'll say that again, become an informed voter. This is a good place to start. I always lift up from the League of Women Voters, vote411.org, where you can compare the platforms of your candidates and then exercise an informed vote. But again, most thanks to you all. Thank you all for staying with us to the end and hearing what it is that needed to be heard on this evening.
Yep. There's a survey that you've been given. Please take a chance. Just fill it out for a moment. Fill it out here, or there's a QR code. We just want to know how this forum was. And yeah, we'll collect those if you want to give them to the table there or at the front. And we'll collect those surveys from you guys. Thank you so much again. Have a wonderful night, and thank you.
Make sure you thank the Bowen Center staff. They did a great job.
Yes. Thank you to the Bowen Center, and to the staff, and to everyone that helped make this possible.
And thank you to Rhonda Craig for being an excellent moderator.
Oh, thank you, Rhonda. Thank you, Rhonda. Thank you. Amazing. You were fantastic.